Hey y'all, today I'm excited to announce that my book is finally live on Amazon, the paperback edition. The Kindle edition's been out for just a little while, but many of you have been asking for the paperback edition, and so it's really great to actually finally be able to share this with the world. I got a few author copies that I've shared with a few folks, but to actually have this live and be able to have it and touch it has been really fantastic. It's a wonderful experience, and I thought I would take the opportunity to share with you some of what's in the book as well, to kind of walk you through a tour of what it's all about. Some of you have asked, what is it that you can really say about the topic of project management? And surprisingly, I've had several folks in other professions like HR and sales be really interested in some of the takes that I've got on how to navigate life in general in corporate and get things done, really, from small business owners all the way up. But let's take a look through the book and show you exactly what's in the book. Several of you have had questions about that, and so you can find the table of contents listed on my website, changeforge.com. But here we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. This is about 200 pages of content, and it takes you soup to nuts about what you need to know as a project manager. And it's not the stuff that you're going to get out of the PMBOK or these fancy classes that are out there. This is the stuff that they're not going to teach you about and talk about that I learned through nearly 3 decades of hard-won education and experience. So let's talk about it. We have, first off, building your signature system, which I believe is really important for every project manager, not just to have a script or a toolbox that somebody gives to you, but really to help you understand how to build your own signature system in the process. This thing that's going to help you to be successful and stand out without burning out. We talk about the key objective in being a project manager in chapter 2 is getting it done, but you also want to make sure you leave a legacy of decency along the way. Huge belief of my own. We talk about the politics and how to deal with the politics. We talk about making sure that you deal with your personal brand, an often overlooked aspect of project managers. And we talk about the myth of the perfect plan and control. These are two key points that go hand in hand about how the plan goes out the window as soon as you hit the battlefield. We talk about control and the deal with the emotional tie to control. A lot of people get tied up in having this level of control that creates a lot of anxiety and angst in managing projects. Mastering the small to conquer the big is a really touching chapter about how I learned to really step into the connection of the communications, not just to communicate for information, not just to build relationships for need and for purpose, but really to lean into what is important to the people that you're working with and people you're working for. Beyond words and project management is all about all of the unsaid, unseen communications, the dynamics of herding cats and building bridges between dreamers and realists is really about team dynamics and how to deal with all the different personalities that you as a project manager are going to get into. And then saving the day ruins the team is about superhero complex. And we talk about how these stellar performers often end up in a situation where they kind of ruin the team and how to deal with that and how to manage that. The next few chapters are really dealing with that iron triangle that we're well accustomed to in project management with scope creep. The monster ate my deadline, the whoosh and thud of deadlines, which is about time management. We talk about how budget, which is real money, really matters. And we get into finance discussions here and a funny little story about that. We have quality, which is how we deal with not just the fact that we have to achieve quality, but when quality becomes so ingrained and we become so risk averse that it paralyzes the project. Then we talk about risk and flying in uncertain skies with a fun story that I draw on from my Marine Corps days. We talk about crisis management and another fun story that I think you'll get a kick out of there that has to do with grenades, believe it or not, that I was actually personally involved in. And then we talk about falling victims to fads and gimmicks. And this is really relevant today in today's world with all the fancy software tools and artificial intelligence, and how to know the difference between what's important and what's meaningful when to lean into a fad and when to stay away from it. And then we talk finally about some of the emotional context of really being a solid standout project manager with embrace the suck and escaping your job's emotional shackles. So as we look at the book itself, the book is built in a very relatable format. Every chapter starts off with our title. We have a nice quote from someone that is meaningful, and the quote itself is really endearing to the concept of what we're doing. Then we get into a narrative from my own life. I've changed many of the names to protect the innocent, so to speak. But here we have, dealing with this setup of how we get into the chapter to make this much more relatable, so that you have a story from my own life about where I got this insight or these insights and information from. Then we get into the meat of it. We talk about actually what it is that you need to do to take advantage of this. For instance, with your signature system, you need to have tools, training, and process, mindset. And the often overlooked aspect of your signature system is your network as well too. Anybody that's in sales and marketing will tell you that's a really key point here. But we get into finally leaving out with some conclusions. Parting Embers really helps you pull back what was important in that chapter. And so this guide, as you get into it, really sets up not just a first time read, but something that you can use to pull back off the shelf, open up a chapter, and really help. Wait a minute, I thought that I heard something in this book. I need to go figure out what it is that I was thinking about for this particular relevant experience, because this is a book for your journey through your career. It's not a one and done book. It's a guide. It's a choose your own adventure. It's something that you can read from start to finish, but it's also something that you can cherry pick, go back and taste it again. In fact, one reader that I was just talking with actually told me that he had to stop in the first several chapters to reread it again because it made too much sense for him. He could relate to it too much. And so that's really endearing to hear that. And I encourage you, stop out, pick up a copy of this, and let me know what you think. Leave a review. I'd love to hear it. And certainly let me know if you'd like to talk about anything. I'm always open. Really just want to enjoy connecting with you and hope that this offers you some level of insight and really a heartwarming, touching experience that you can relate to and that helps you in your own journey in project management. Take care out there and stay salty.